I want my husband to stop working his 9 to 5. And I know that sounds backwards, especially because we're a family of 5 with 3 little kids and he's the primary earner. But this isn't about hating his job or that I want him to find a higher paying job. And I didn't always think this way. I used to actually be really anxious about money, and security meant everything to me. But after our 3rd baby was born, my husband was home with us for 4 weeks and something completely shifted in me. And this has everything to do with why we're pursuing financial independence. When my husband was home for those 4 weeks paternity leave, I was so surprised how much calmer our home felt. I felt more supported and less alone. And it wasn't even about him helping more. It was his presence. The fact that we could wake up and there was no rush for him to get to work. We had the luxury to check out a new bakery that had opened in town with the kids, and afterwards we just strolled around downtown. My husband was also able to spend a lot of quality time with the older 2, and they loved it. That really made a lasting positive impact on their bond, and my husband was overall more content, less stressed, less rushed. We could just take our time. We also were able to do daily things such as going to the grocery store together, and it was not rushed, and it was actually really fun to do together. And since we didn't, take a trip during that time, obviously, because I had just given birth, we just experienced daily life together as a family, and there was so much contentment and joy in that. And those 4 weeks changed what I thought a good life looked like. And that's what I realized, that what I really wanted to work towards wasn't nicer things, bigger house, better vacations. It was more time spent with my husband and us as a family together. So one big reason that I cannot wait for my husband to be able to quit his 9 to 5 job is that we can date each other more. Not someday, not when we're old, now, right? I want to invest in that friendship with him now. Marriage is so fundamental for our family, and I want to invest time and energy into that. I want to be able to have slow mornings during the week where we can just have long breakfasts and just chat about things. I want to have the luxury of going on long walks together and maybe picking up a hobby together or working on a project together during the week. Right now, the only time that we really have to sit down and have like an uninterrupted conversation is in the evenings when the kids are in bed. And then oftentimes stuff is like piled up that we need to talk through, or we're just too tired. So there's just like not a lot of time left. And I just can't wait till we have the luxury of time where we can just sit and read next to each other, not talk, or we can talk or go on walks and just do the things that we want to do that day. The next point is I want my husband to be able to spend time with the kids while they're little. I was talking to a friend the other day, and she was kind of making the point that like she's in a similar state of life as me with like little kids. She was saying, well, this is the time to hustle. And while I kind of understand where she's coming from, right? Like we're young now, so we have like the energy to like invest in our careers and build a nest egg. I was kind of thinking, gosh, but our kids are little. This is the time to slow down, right? You can hustle before you have kids. You can hustle later if you want to, but this right now when they're little, this is the time to slow down, take in the moment. This is the time when all they want to do is hang out with us, and it's so awesome. And I just, thinking back to those 4 weeks paternity leave, my husband loved hanging out with older kids. They loved having that time with him, and it's really made a long-lasting impact on their bond. Like even like when he went back to work, like I could tell that like their bond had really increased from that time. I'm totally not against hustling and working hard, but I want it to be in our time frame in a way that suits our values and where family time does not get compromised. I can also see this lifestyle increase my husband's contentment. He actually, in the job that he's doing right now, he actually is able to use his creativity, which he really enjoys. But the time pressure of deadlines, it's just kind of taking the fun out of it. I notice that when he's home and he's working on a project, he gets so much life out of that. And he loves working hard. He loves being creative, but just again, in his time frame and on his terms and without all the pressure. So I think if he were to quit his 9 to 5, he would probably have more energy for relationships and just for hanging out with us. I noticed that when he was home those 4 weeks that he just had more energy to invest in our relationships and to pursue the things that are important to him. So I want him to be able to follow his ambitions, but with flexibility. And last but not least, I would love to have the flexibility to be able to spend several weeks during the summers overseas in Germany. When my husband and I got married, I made the hard decision to leave my home and move to the US with him. But that means that all my family are overseas. And so with him working in a corporate job, of course, he can't take weeks on end off. Last year, what we did is I went over there with the kids to Germany and he joined us for 2 weeks. We were kind of trying to see if that would work, but honestly, it wasn't great. The kids were a bit confused, right? It was hard to be apart for that long, and it really wasn't our favorite. And so while it kind of worked for the kids and I to be there longer, it really wasn't great for our family. And so I just really would love to have the time flexibility that we can just move ourselves to Germany for 6 to 8 weeks and just to be with my family in Germany. This is why financial independence matters to me, not for a bigger lifestyle, but for a more present one. If any of this sounds too good to be true or not achievable, check out this video where I share how we as a family of 5 save 70% of our income, or this video where I share the 5 exact steps I would take if I had to start from zero on our path to financial independence. And until next time, have an awesome week. Bye guys.